The scientific enterprise is currently navigating a profound meta-theoretical crisis. It has hit a hard limit regarding the origin of consciousness. The dominant paradigm operating in the background of modern research is scientific materialism. It relies on a single baseline assumption: all subjective experience can ultimately be reduced to physical matter. The early pioneers of quantum mechanics recognized this constraint a century ago. Physicists like Max Planck warned that consciousness could not be bypassed or cleanly explained away by physical particles. The issue lies in a concept called ontological materialism. Methodological reductionism, the practice of breaking complex systems down into their physical parts, is a highly effective tool. But over the last 100 years, that practical tool quietly morphed into a rigid belief system dictating that only physical matter exists. That belief is an unexamined absolute presupposition. It is a philosophical stance, not a conclusion derived from empirical data. When a rigid framework fails to account for a growing body of empirical measurements, the scientific method dictates that the framework must be formally revised. The data itself cannot be discarded. The materialist framework approaches the brain through the generator model. This is the assumption that the brain secretes consciousness in the exact same way a liver secretes bile. But this model struggles to account for qualia. Qualia are the first-person, subjective, felt senses of an experience, the specific redness of an apple or the sharp sting of a paper cut. Functional MRI scans can reliably identify the neural correlates of those experiences. We can watch a specific cortex light up when a subject sees red. But the scans offer no mechanism for why or how those physical electrochemical firings translate into the subjective feeling of redness. Philosophers and cognitive scientists call this the explanatory gap, or the hard problem of consciousness. There is no mathematical or biological bridge connecting the firing neuron to the lived experience. Dismissing this gap as an illusion or an artifact of poor measurement is a symptom of ideological bias. Rigorous scientific inquiry requires confronting the anomaly. If the generator model cannot bridge the gap to the very phenomenon that allows us to observe the universe in the first place, its status as an exhaustive explanatory framework is increasingly in question. We can stress test classical materialism by weighing its core assumptions against verified empirical anomalies, starting at the level of fundamental physics. Classical physics relies on an objective reality that operates entirely independent of the human mind. The double-slit experiment introduced the concept of the probability wave. Before measurement, subatomic particles exist in superposition, occupying multiple probable locations simultaneously. The exact moment an observer measures the system, the probability wave instantly collapses into a single concrete particle. This is the observer effect. Atoms and subatomic particles do not possess definite spatial locations until they are actively measured. The method of observation and the active mind of the observer are inextricably linked to the physical event taking place. Albert Einstein grappled extensively with these non-local, observer-dependent mechanics. They directly challenged his preference for a strictly deterministic clockwork universe. While various interpretations of quantum mechanics exist, the observer effect suggests a participatory universe that lacks the solid, mind-independent foundation required by classical materialism. The anomalies of materialism scale beyond subatomic particles. They appear directly in human biology and cognition. This chart shows the timeline of a veridical near-death experience, or NDE, mapping electrical brain activity against a patient's recorded cognition. At the point of cardiac arrest, the EEG drops to a flat line. Measurable electrical activity in the brain ceases within seconds. Yet, during this precise window of zero physical brain function, patients report profound, highly structured cognition. These experiences are veridical. The patients return with specific, accurate information about the operating room that is independently verified by medical staff. This aligns with rigorous parapsychological research into distant mental influence and telepathy. Statistical meta-analyses show that distant minds behave in non-locally correlated ways, connections that are immediate and unmediated by any known energetic signal. If complex consciousness and non-local perception occur when the physical brain is offline or separated by vast distances, it challenges the core assumption that the mind is strictly a localized byproduct of neural networks. This presents a distinct architectural problem. If the brain is not generating the mind, what is its actual biological function? The formal post-materialist replacement is the transceiver model. This framework treats consciousness as a universal, fundamental background field. The physical brain acts as a biological interface, restricting and localizing this field into a single focused stream of human experience. By shifting the ontological center from matter to consciousness, the observer effects of quantum mechanics, veridical near-death experiences, and non-local cognition cease to be impossible paradoxes. They become expected features of the system. Transitioning away from physicalism often triggers a specific fear within the scientific community. Does abandoning the materialist assumption mean abandoning the rigorous scientific method and embracing mysticism? No. International cohorts of researchers, like the Galileo Commission, are actively designing a formally expanded methodology to study consciousness with mathematical precision. The technical framework being engineered to map first-person subjective experience directly onto physical neurodynamics is called neurophenomenology. This framework treats disciplined, radical introspection as formally valid data. It places the subjective inner experience on equal mathematical footing with objective third-person observation. This approach does not invalidate existing classical physics or neurobiology. Instead, it subsumes them into a larger, more comprehensive scientific context. To build a complete model of the universe, the scientific method must measure both the observed object and the inner experience of the observer simultaneously. Integrating these new models requires structural reform. How research is funded, published, and verified must change to prevent ideological gatekeeping. This chart shows epistemological pluralism in action through a policy called registered reports. Unlike standard publishing, where exciting results dictate acceptance, registered reports require peer review of the methodology before data collection begins. These structural reforms prevent reviewers from rejecting anomalous data a priori. They force the community to confront evidence that challenges the reigning worldview, replacing absolute presuppositions with pure empirical inquiry. Nikola Tesla predicted this trajectory, stating that the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all previous centuries of its existence. Post-materialist science represents an evolution. It replaces a mechanistic worldview with an ontology where consciousness itself is the foundation of reality. Stripping away the 19th century blinders of physicalism restores the open-minded rigor of the scientific method. It equips humanity with the tools to solve the ultimate mystery of our own existence.